So I'll get into what worked and hasn't worked for me in my hiring process, and then we can get into two of the questions that we have. The questions are a little open-ended, so they may take a little bit. What's worked? So I think for me, the biggest thing that's worked is outbounding, because you have a little bit more control over who you are trying to have an intro call with. Now, again, it takes more time, it takes effort, but I think we've seen better conversations just in general with candidates. And then, of the 5 roles that we hired for after me, 4 out of the 5 have been all from outbound. So I think the track record kind of proves it. What hasn't worked?
Yeah,
I would say, and I'm going to steal a little bit of thunder of what I think one of my answers will be for the Q&A, but trying to keep candidates on a similar schedule. And what I mean by that is, it never works that you've got 5 candidates that that you really feel good about and they're all on the same stage. And I think for me, and I've gotten feedback on that, and I took it personally, and I've already tried to make some changes on it. Candidates said, hey, the hiring process just felt too long. And I think I'll own that. I think I can make excuses, some of them excuses as to why it happened, but I think there were some learnings of, hey, rather than try and get all these candidates to the same stage, like just trust your gut in that moment of, hey, do I actually feel like this is somebody that I want to work with, or am I just trying to make sure that I end up with someone as opposed to no one? So that's been a big learning for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say for me, and we haven't touched on this, so I will. One of the successes I had was using a recruiter. You know what I mean? And so we didn't talk about that, but if you don't have internal recruiting staff, find a firm that specializes in your role, not a generalist recruiter. I don't think so. We had good luck. We had a lot of great candidates that came. We used 2 recruiters. We had one that was more of a transactional one, and then one that was a more high touch. And we both got a lot of great candidates, and I hired one of them from Sloan. I'll just give them a shout out from Sloan Recruiting, and Max over there. Great folks, especially if you're hiring marketers, and I think they dabble in sales as well. And so that was I think a win for us. It helped me get ahead, from where I was at in the hiring process. And then I think what didn't work, it's an offshoot of what you said, but it's communications. You know what I mean? It's comms with the candidates. Like I had to apologize. I can't tell you how many times I had to start off an email like, I'm so sorry. This has taken me a week to get back to you. Like I can't even tell you how many times, and that doesn't feel right. But what's interesting is, if I take myself back to when I was candidates and all these, and I would be like, why the fuck is it taking a week? Who is so busy that they can't get back to a good candidate in like a week? And now I'm like, oh, this is actually what happens. This actually does happen, where I'm like, this is a great candidate, and I've just let them go for a whole week. I'm sorry, but it does happen. Like we do get so swamped sometimes, where it's like, it's an excuse, but it's reality. And so I think that's one thing I want to try and fix next round.